Good day, Sven the Slayer here once again, and welcome back to Starmade. We are here once again on the Star Squadron server, and I am currently in my station that I've been working on. So I spent a lot of time off camera, mostly just sitting there staring at it, desperately trying to think up of a plan. And I laid out some key components. I added a central hallway here, just so I can get to other components, and then there's a small hall here. I wanted cargo bays, fairly large cargo bays on either side, and I have the doors set up already. Yeah, this one can actually open and close. And I also set up the where the airlocks will be, and just so I could dock this ship and it wasn't just nose into the station in the way. And I wanted to see what it would take to build an adapter, and it's a neat thing, but I will probably end up scrapping it in the end, so it'll move forward and then slide into place because it can't actually fit through the door. So that mirrors up perfectly with this cargo bay door here. The problem is it has to be deployed before the ship is docked, because otherwise the engine's in the way, and it's so big. It takes up most of the cargo bay, so essentially you'd have to have the cargo bay pretty much empty just to deploy this thing, and that goes for if I go into the floor or the ceiling. It just doesn't work. But it was fun to mess around with, and it works. So but it will ultimately be scrapped. I've already decided it's going to be scrapped. So over here I'm going to have some like private living areas, and one of these will be a galley and mess hall, and then the other one will probably be like a barracks, some just a bunch of beds, and the bathroom, of course the two cargo bays, and a medical facility here. So you'll dock an ambulance over here and be able to access the med bay immediately. And of course block storage will go here. Once I get that all set up, I haven't quite figured out exactly how I want the layout to go, or how I want it to be organized. And I need to get my factories actually churning out materials, because I am completely out of standard armor right now. Just doing this framework, so I can't really do much more on the station until I can do the exterior standard armor. It's just to give it some difference, and you could do color variations, but I don't know. I just like building in gray. Oh yeah, another thing, if you know anything about me, is I'm very like what's the word for it? I don't want to say anal because that just sounds wrong, but I'm very particular about how I build things. So that's why I always like having at least 2 layers between pressurized space and the vacuum of death, and that doesn't always work out, especially for small ships, which is fine, but on anything big, such as like a big station like this, and I don't like having single layer windows. But this station kind of has a necessity for it if I wanted the nice big windows. And big windows is another thing I try to avoid because they just don't seem that safe. So of course I have to get creative and add things like shutters. So if any of these windows gets a puncture in it, even though they are crystal armor, so they're probably actually harder than the framework. But, you know, maybe I'll change it with glass if it's too expensive. Who knows? But yeah, they all open and close. Really happy with the way those turned out, especially these side windows here. I'm really happy the way the angled windows turn out. They don't. It looks almost identical to the flat ones, and of course the door works just as well. This would be something that would be very difficult to do with just plex doors, and it wouldn't look as nice. So the rails give me the ability to have the nice sliding blast doors here, or blast screens, I don't know. And Controls, probably temporary controls. Nothing too hard to do. But yeah, this is actually where I want the button. So this will be the control side. Button to here. I'll probably put the rail speed controller up here once I actually lay out this station a little bit. Maybe buttons, some other buttons routed to here. I don't know. We'll figure that out. One thing I do need is to go out and gather materials and start building the shipyard. Now, this station already is way bigger than I originally planned, which is fine. So I think I might as well just kind of go nuts and make the shipyard bigger than it needed to be originally, because originally, like I said last episode, I just wanted to make it large enough to fit a specific ship, but I'll make it bigger, so maybe bigger ships, who knows. Probably not big enough to fit the hammer, but we have the ability to separate our arms, the actual build yard arms, 50 blocks, so that means I can put one here, here, and then maybe stick 2 more out at the max range, so I can do ships that are, say, 150 meters long. And I don't know how tall or wide I want it yet. I just gotta figure all that out later. And every one of these that isn't holding an arm will hold power strips, or probably, yeah, just power, but they will be physical arms. They just won't actually have the parts of the shipyard, the functioning parts of the shipyard. And I don't know yet if the shipyard bits have to be like the furthest out. Like, I don't know if I can put them behind these blocks. If I can't, then that's fine. I just have to put them here instead of in like I originally planned. That's no big deal. And then the others can just be, the power can go through there, no problem. So for that, I need to go out and actually gather some materials so I can start actually crafting the bits for the shipyard. And I think I have some over here. Let's see, so shipyard. I think these take Threns and Sinter. So if we look up our nav, we can actually see Threns and Sinter. So we have the asteroid nearby that we need. And there's another one. So yeah, I can easily go eat those up and get the materials I need. Plus, this ship already does have some storage on it. Actually, this ship has a good amount of my materials. If I remember correctly, I loaded it up with blocks for building on the capital planet, so it has a good stash of materials in it. But for now, I'll probably cut and gather some shipyard building stuff and be back. So I'll see you then. Okay, so I think I have a functioning shipyard. This is not going to be the final size or anything. I just haven't built one before, so I don't know how they work. I just want to make sure everything's working before I attempt to mess around with it any. So, I don't really want to create a new design. I guess I have to actually attach this to storage in order to build a ship. Cancel current order, resource status, no block pulling, set inventory name, waiting on order, no ship, create new design, creates and loads fresh designed, and places it here. Design mode, yeah, I know that one. Unload, load, deconstruct to, deconstruct without. So there's one thing I'm going to have to do is figure out how I want to get from the shipyard to the actual core. And there was one other thing I wanted to test, so let's make a ship and just make a really rudimentary ship. So thrust. Where's my power? It's already in the hotbar. So power, thrust, and I want a storage container, which I don't actually have any on me. I don't think I have any. They're probably all down at the planet, so I'm gonna have to make a trip down to the planet, or make some. I don't think they're that hard. And I just want to put something in it, something that I can afford to lose. So there we go. It's got some storage and stuff in the storage. Can I use the? Yep, we can use the docking beam. Good. So yeah, I wanted to test to see if I just deconstruct a ship with stuff in it, what happens. So, place order, deconstruct without design, yep. Yeah, that takes a while to take apart that little piece of junk. Oh, right, so yeah, those items are there. Including my power capacitors. Great. So we can make, like, storage pods, put all the items in the storage pod, dock it into the shipyard, and then have the shipyard deconstruct the storage pod with all the items in it, so we don't have to carry all the items from hand from the cargo hold of my ship. I can just dock a pod to it. I actually have latching positions for storage pods, which would be nice. Then I just have to go from the cargo bay to the pod to the shipyard and then deconstruct. What happens if you overfill this, though? Let's test that out. So, how much crap can I put in here? So we want the same ship, first of all. And so it's just power, thruster, and the storage module. And then we'll see if we can actually fill this shipyard up with crap. just so it's absolutely positively full. It's full. Alright. Now we'll go over to my other ship. Get in the stupid cargo hold. The new version of this actually has a dock here, which I can put like a storage sled and then dock that. So we want things we aren't afraid to lose. Plenty of that crap. That's just crap. In fact, I'd be happy to lose that stuff. Because I can't sell it. It doesn't have a texture anymore. So, but we just want to see what happens to it. And now, all the parts of the ship should be able to go to there, go into the storage of the computer itself. But I don't know if it's gonna... the game's smart enough yet to move all the items directly into that chest. But we shall find out. Place order. Deconstruct. Boop. So this should have no dirt in it. Any of that junk. And it's all of this there. Cool, cool. That's good to know. Good. Means we don't have to worry about our storage items getting lost because we deconstructed a ship. Another thing I wanted to see is should have done deconstruct to design. Let's do that. Inventory. Oh, right. We don't have any cores because they're in this or somewhere. So yeah, that works. We don't need this crap. Just put it in there for now. So yeah, I really like that you can just put items in and actually pull all the items, and I just have to have like dump chests. Enough storage capacity directly linked to this thing. Well, this thing will actually be linked to all of the chests that it needs to pull from. Because you can actually link back that way too. So yeah, that'll actually go like that. So yeah, we want to create the same ship again. Core with power, wherever that got to. Power, thruster, and my locker. Oh, the locker got put into there, didn't it? My locker got put into my locker. So now we put the locker on it. And dock it up. I'm definitely thinking I'm going to have to go above. So over here in the little control area, there'll probably be a door, a doorway, and a ramp up to the top. And I'll put in an airlock over there, just so you can easily gain access to the shipyard itself. So now we want to deconstruct to design, name it test, and it's going to deconstruct. And now we want to load, and we want to construct. Building, we can go out there. So now we have our little ship. So now if it's damaged, what happens if there's stuff in it? So stuff in the chest, you pull in, you dock your ship. What happens if you repair it? Does it stash the items, or do they stay in the chest? So now we want to place order. We want. So that's already. Deconstruct. Test out, create. Oh, there we go. Prepare from design. Okay. So now. They really need, like, actual animations. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, because it doesn't actually have enough thrusters. That's why. There we go. So now, are my items still in the chest? Because it deconstructs it. No, the items are lost. Well, not lost. Hopefully not lost. So if you try to repair a ship with stuff in the chests, those items will become misplaced. Which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, they're right here. So they're not lost, but it's kind of annoying that if you repair a ship, your items do get placed in the shipyard itself. But that would be one way to... That's not too bad. That means I can just pull up with the mall, dock it, tell it to repair, it'll dump all the items into the storage, and automatically start refining if I have it set up properly, which I will. There's no doubt about that. Forgot that it was still chugging along. So now we just have to figure out how we want the ship, how big we want the shipyard, and what we want it to look like. Now that we know how it works, that the bits there don't interfere with it. And yeah, that's cool. I really like this new feature. I've been waiting for it for actually a long time now. Yeah. Well, we'll get to it. Well, as it turns out, we are actually out of time for today's episode, so I'll have to continue building the shipyard in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.